Hey guys, it's Mark from the Sports Corner, and today is Monday, and that is Monday Night Football. And I'm going to give you my predictions for both games. Some good matchups here. One probably going to be a little boring, but one really great matchup in the Buccaneers versus Ravens. But before we get into that, let's talk about Sunday. Sunday, all my best bets come through 4-0. I swept the board. Detroit money line, Kansas City money line, the over on the Jaguars and New England game, and the Bengals to cover 5.5 all came through. So if you guys were telling me you had a really profitable day. Last week I went 3-0. The week before that 2-1. So my best bets, the games I bet personally as well, went 9-1. So if you tailed me and you bet those games just alone, those best bets, you are making a great profit. And not only that, I gave out a 4-game parlay that hit on the Eagles game. It hit with ease. So, and for the whole week, I'm above 500. I went through all the games, all the prediction, and I predicted every one, and I went over 500. So the last 2 weeks I'm doing really well. So if you're telling me, like I said, you're making money, but if you definitely follow my best bets, you've made a lot of money, depending what you bet on, obviously. But you've made a profit. So with all that being said, let's pick these Monday night games. Went through all the stats, breaking down each game. So these are going to be my best predictions for Monday Night Football. And our first Monday Night Football game, we have a really great matchup here. We have the Ravens versus the Buccaneers, with the Ravens being a favorite by 3.5 and the over and under being 50. I've even seen it at 49.5 in some books. So like I said, great matchup. Two high, powerful offenses going at each other. We have Lamar Jackson, who's killing it. He has over 1,500 yards passing with 10 touchdowns and only 2 picks. And he has over 400 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. So 12 total touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And then you have the Baker Mayfield, who's having an MVP type year, 15 touchdowns with 5 interceptions, with over 1,400 yards passing. And they have Chris Godwin, who's having a great year. Chris Godwin has over 500 yards receiving with 5 touchdowns. Mike Evans has over 300 yards receiving with 5 touchdowns. And they found 2 good running backs in Bucky Irving and Tucker. Bucky Irving leads the Buccaneers in rushing, not White. He has 58 carries for 328 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Tucker, the guy they drafted out of Syracuse this year, he had a great game last week. Really great game. Both these teams are coming off great wins. You got the Ravens defeating the Commanders, which was everybody was going to be it was a great matchup. Commanders were coming in with a high, powerful offense, and people thought they weren't going to be stopped, but the Ravens beat them 30-23. And then you have the Buccaneers, who put a 50 points on the crappy Saints. Sorry, people. The Saints are garbage. 50 points the Buccaneers put on them. So these teams are looking really great, really unstoppable. So let's get into the numbers a little bit. Let's talk about the Ravens. Like I said, Lamar Jackson's killing it. But the biggest thing for me is that he is 22-1 against NFC teams. 22-1. That's like death and taxes. What are for sure things in this life? Death and taxes, and Lamar Jackson beating NFC teams. Unbelievable. Let's don't forget that they have King Henry. The guy's killing it again. Over 700 yards rushing, 8 rushing touchdowns, and 1 receiving touchdown. So 9 total touchdowns. Leads the league. Guy's killing it again. MVP type of year as well. They have good weapons. They have a good core of guys. Zay Flowers, Bateman, two good tight ends, and Likely and Andrews, and a good receiving back in Justice Hill. So they have weapons, and they're not really great, but they're all a good, solid core. The Ravens also lead the NFL with 1,232 yards rushing total. So all rushing together, the whole team, they lead the league. They have ran over 150 yards and 1 touchdown a game every game. So they're just always just putting 150 yards on you and a TD. So that is, really, really great. They're 4-2 against the spread. The 5 of their 6 games have gone over. And when they're playing as a moneyline favorite, they're 4-1. 4-1. So you see the trend here, and they have the number one rush defense. I think it's not even close. I think they're only letting teams rush about 45 yards against them or something like that. It's an unbelievable number. But big but here, they do not have a good secondary. You can pass on this team like nobody's business. So that's not really good coming from a team that they're playing against, a team that loves to pass the ball. And let's talk about the Buccaneers here then. The Buccaneers are 4-2 against the spread. They have gone, their games, if you're an over and under bettor, have gone over 4 times this year, and they're out of the 6 games. And the Bucs have been underdogs in 3 games, and they've won 2 of those games. So they've been winning games even though coming in as the dog. Don't have to mention it again, Baker Mayfield's having an MVP type year. He leads the league in passing touchdowns with 15, and he also can run the ball. I believe he has 136 yards rushing for 2 touchdowns, so 17 total touchdowns by Baker Mayfield. So the guy's just killing it this year. And good for them because the Ravens are allowing 67% pass completions against them. So they're allowing a rate of 67 completions against them. So you could pass against this Ravens defense, like I said. So, with all the information given to you guys, I think the best play here is the over 49.5 or 50, wherever you can get it. Just 2 high, powerful offenses. I don't see them getting stopped. If you try to stop the Ravens' pass, they could beat you in the run. If you try to stop the run, they could beat you in the pass. Like Lamar Jackson said, pick your poison. Same thing with the Buccaneers. They're just not a passing game. It looks like it because Baker Mayfield's numbers are really great, but they have the number 8th ranked rushing offense as well. They have Tucker and Bucky Irving, 2 good finds by the Buccaneers, and Rachaad White. That's a great running back core. Rachaad White is questionable for this game. Regardless, it's still a good rushing attack. And Baker Mayfield could use his leg as well. So I think there's just so many offenses, two offenses that won't be stopped. So I think they go over this number. I think it's a 30-24 game, 28-24, 31-27 kind of game. And they get that number. So if I had to choose a team, though, I would choose the Ravens just because Lamar Jackson's record against the NFC teams. He just owns NFC teams. That alone, I think, is enough to bet the Ravens to win. But I'm not. I think the better play is the over 49.5. Besides that, let me give you guys a parlay that I like too. Now, don't forget, parlays, you're not going to win a lot of money yet. They're for fun. You should do them. Just throw a few bucks at them, but don't bet parlays a lot because you will lose money. But so I'm going to bet this parlay, throw for $25, $50 on it. So I think it's really realistic to hit. I'm going to take Lamar Jackson over 282.5 total yards. That's passing and rushing. So I got Lamar Jackson over 282.5 total yards. I believe he gets around 300 with his legs and passing. Henry, anytime TD. Derrick Henry, the guy's a beast. As soon as they get close to the goal line, they will pound the ball. I think this is going to be a 15-16 touchdown year for Henry, by the way. So I think Henry gets an anytime TD. And Baker Mayfield over 1.5 passing TDs. I believe he'll get 2 to 3 touchdowns in this game. For sure, 2 touchdowns on that crappy Baltimore Ravens secondary. So one more time for the parlays. Give me Lamar Jackson over 282 all-purpose yards. Derrick Henry anytime TD. And Baker Mayfield over 1.5 passing TDs. And my best bet of the game is the Ravens and Buccaneers to go over the 49.5 or 50 number. So give me the over. All right, in our second Monday Night Football game, we have the Chargers versus the Cardinals, with the Chargers being favored by 1.5 and the over and under being 44 points. Not going to spend too much on this game. It's going to be a boring game, a snooze fest of the game. Everybody's going to be watching the Buccaneers and Ravens game. I'll watch this game occasionally to check up on it, but it's not going to be fun to watch. You have 2 teams going opposite directions. Chargers coming off a win against the Broncos, and they're 3-2. And you have the Cardinals coming off a blowout loss to the Packers, and they're 2-4. So both teams have good quarterbacks, just not a lot of good things around them, surrounded by a lot of good players. The Chargers now, like everybody knows, they're a running team now in Jim Harbaugh's offense. Herbert's not having the best year. He finally threw over 200 yards last week. He didn't do that all year long. He has 6 touchdowns and 1 interception, so that's not terrible. He's not turned the ball over, and he's thrown over 800 yards. Dobbins, like I said, they're a rushing team. Dobbins, he has 438 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns on 81 carries. Pretty good. And he has some okay offensive weapons. Quinn Johnson, the rookie McConkey, who leads their whole team in receiving, is okay. They might get DJ Shark this game, which is pretty good. He's a better than average wide receiver. He would make this team a little bit better, the receiving core that is, but he's questionable, and so is McConkey, so keep an eye on that. They have the 3rd highest rush rate, so run some more. And like I said, J.K. Dobbins is 2nd in rushing in the AFC. So, good numbers all around here. Not great for passing, but, good rushing numbers. But they are a rushing team, but great defense team. Great defense. Their defense is only allowing 13.2 points a game. That is nothing. So they are holding teams to damn near nothing, less than 2 scores. That's pretty good. And let's get into some detailed numbers here for the Chargers. This is their 4th quarterback they're facing that could use their legs. So they've faced 4 quarterbacks who can rush the ball. So that's really good since they're playing against Kyle Murray. Jim Harbaugh is undefeated on Monday night. So don't forget, people, he was a head coach before for the San Francisco 49ers. So he's undefeated on Monday Night Football. And they're 4-1 against the spread. And let's don't forget, their defense is only allowing 13.2 points a game. That means teams are not even averaging 2 touchdowns against them. So their defense is really great. And they have covered the spread 3 times when playing as a 1-point favorite. And they're a 1.5 favorite this game. So they cover the spread 3 times when they're favored by that number. So good numbers. Like I said, really great defense, really great running attack. So that's the name of their game. Running and great defense and the play action. Let's get at the Cardinals. They haven't won a back-to-back game since 2021. That's pretty awful. I think you know where we're going to go with this trend. Their defensive line is all banged up. Their starter, Justin Jones, and Bilal Nicholas are all out for the year. That's good for anybody who wants to bet any J.K. Dobbins player prop. The Cardinals don't do anything really well, okay? The only thing they do well is they do have a good rushing attack. They're ranked number 7th in rushing. James Conner is still the good, solid, reliable runner. 90 carries for 403 yards and 3 touchdowns. Still reliable, still good old James Conner. They're 3-3 against the spread. This season, the Cardinals have been the underdog 4 times, and they only have won once. They're 1-2 at home, and they're 0-4 in non-division games. So the writing's on the wall. If you just take what I said, the Cardinals 0-4 in non-divisionals game. They haven't won a back-to-back game since 2021, which is more telling than anything. And when this season, the Cardinals have been underdog 4 times, and they've only won it once. So with all that being said, give me Chargers money line, but also give me J.K. Dobbins anytime TD and him to go over 70 yards rushing. I don't know why the line's 1.5. I don't get it. I also would play the under in this game, but give me the Chargers money line as my best bet and a little side parlay. J.K. Dobbins anytime touchdown and over 70 yards rushing in what is going to be a boring snooze fest of a game. So guys, those are my picks for the Monday Night Football games tonight. One matchup we have is going to be a great match in the Buccaneers versus the Cardinals, and the other matchup is going to be a snooze fest, the Cardinals and Chargers game. I don't expect anybody to watch that. But let's go over my best picks for these 2 games. For the Buccaneers and Ravens game, I have the over 49.5 or 50, wherever you can get it. Shop those books, get the best line. And for the Chargers and Cardinals game, I like the Chargers money line. With that, I chose 2 parlays in both games. So let's go over those. In the Ravens game, I like the Lamar Jackson to go over 282 all-purpose yards. I like Derrick Henry and anytime TD. And I like Baker Mayfield to go over 1.5 passing TDs. And for the Chargers game, this little parlay I like is J.K. Dobbins anytime touchdown and him to rush over 70 yards. Just please remember, Parlays are to have fun with. Don't spend a lot of money on them. You will not make a profit in the long run. You'll end up losing. But these are some parlays that I like to throw just, 20 to 50 bucks on them. Maybe 50 is even a big stretch. But just throw a couple bucks on them, have fun. But the best plays are Chargers money line and the over in the Buccaneers and Ravens game. So with all that being said, guys, please like and subscribe. I love doing this. It's a small channel. My best bets the last 3 weeks in a row went 9-1. I repeat, 9-1. Swept the whole board yesterday. All my best bets won 4-0. So it was a profitable day for me. So if you guys told me it would have been a profitable day for you, it would have been a profitable 3 weeks in a row if you followed me. So please give me a like and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys in the future. The NBA is coming up. My NBA video is coming in the midweek. Love the NBA. Go Knicks. So with all that being said, please like and subscribe. And I will always see you guys in the next one.